Welcome back, everybody. So this is week number 9 and our final week in You as the Medicine series. It has been a very good journey, and I am very happy that you have gone through this journey with me. I am looking forward to your testimonials if you have any or any feedback at the end. But for today, we have the abdominal and the lower back balance in terms of our core structure. And abdominals at the same time the serratus anterior harmony, which was the muscle that was underneath your scapula. And at the same time, we will give some insights as of the diaphragm. And overviewing general series, we had so far 2 weeks of each subjects, and we are on the extra bonus one, indulging into the structure of the core. And I'm moving along with this, just remembering last week, how was your awareness over the neck and the shoulders and the chest? Was it helpful for you to really understand? Maybe in the beginning, I don't want to overload you with expectations, but what happens is first you understand that maybe in your middle back you don't feel nothing. That's how it started for me with my right shoulder. I noticed that I could breathe into left shoulder way more comfortably than to the right shoulder. I'm like, wow, like I really don't feel nothing on my right shoulder. And then it opened up more awareness for me. But for the middle back, it's like, oh, like there's stuff here. And you do some little exercises, and then something in the middle of your back starts to feel maybe sore, but you can't really notice what it is. And eventually, as actually for the middle back, as leaning the head against a wall or like pushing the shoulders towards a wall, leaning the head against a wall without lifting the chin up. So the chin stays in. So you are using your neck flexors and lengthening the entire muscles around your spine, which we will go into today. So the more awareness you cultivate around these muscles, and the more awareness you understand which ones are tight and which ones are underactive, then it will be more easy for you to slowly but surely restructure your posture. As we begin, let's take a moment to reflect and share. And in this today, I want you to think and talk about, or for those of you joining us through the video, I want you to journal about this. How does your physical awareness affect your mental state? And we can switch this around just to give some ideas. You can become aware of your physical body when you are, let's say, going through an emotion or a sensation. Like if I am angry, I can choose to become aware of what's going on within my body. And how does this awareness affect my anger, let's say? Or at the same time, I might be physically aware and then an emotion might be arising. So how does this interact within your own experience? So I will give you 2 minutes, and for the online group, I will break it into the breakout rooms, and I'll just do it randomly on an alphabetical order. So if you are at home watching the video, just pick up your pen and paper and let's get this started. Thank you very much for your insights and feedback, everybody. And for those of you joining us through the video, take a moment to read what you wrote and then maybe write a concluding statement like, now I realize, after reading what I wrote, it came to my awareness that. Just write one sentence to conclude your own journaling or your own reflections to yourself, and then we can continue with the slides. Okay, so as we are getting started today, I will first do a very small exercise in terms of how to move the spine and how the muscles around the trunk or like the core actually feels. And for this, either come to a standing position or a seated down position and bring your spine up straight, upright. Spine is naturally not straight, so allow it to have the natural curves that it has, so the body weight is distributed evenly. Take a moment to start, let's from all the way down the sit bones. Bring your awareness to the position of your sit bones, the pubic bone and the tailbone. Start taking a moment to notice the shape and the function of your psoas. Start to notice the shape and the function of your abdominal muscles and the lower back. Now take a moment to keep climbing up higher around the spinal structure. Feel the muscles that are descending all the way from the lower to the middle back. Notice the ribs connecting to the spine, the middle back and the upper back, all the way to your skull. Notice the connection of the back muscles. Keeping the back upright and the chest pushed forward. And at the same time, bring your awareness to the lower abdominals and the middle abdominals, the entire abdominal cavity. Feel how it is nicely tucked underneath your abdominal muscles. Now notice the chest and the side of the ribs and the serratus pushing the mid back forward. Even feel the lats today, which are connected to the upper arm bones and pulling your shoulders down into the position. Very nice. I want you now to imagine that you are in a barrel. Or there's a barrel around you. And now what we are going to do is, when you inhale, push the chest forward like you are putting your entire body, entire front of your body to the front of the barrel. And then when you exhale, start to hunch and then push your entire back to the back wall of the barrel. So this is kind of like cat and cow, but this is barrel. So inhale, push your chest forward, push your belly forward, really expand the front of the body, and you can keep your eyes closed. Imagine even the throat, you can drop the head back a little bit, keeping the neck straight though. Push the chest and the belly and almost the thighs if you are standing up towards the front of the barrel. And exhale, really start to hunch forward. Notice how you initiate the motion. Is it coming from the mid back, upper back, lower back? How are you moving? Press the abs in. Imagine the back side of the barrel. 2 more. Inhale. Really allowing the motion and notice. Just become aware of how you move. And can you soften this motion? Move a bit more softly. Find the front of the barrel. And then go all the way back. All right, one more, you do this at your own pace. Really imagine and keep your breath relaxed. Tight muscles are not really easy to feel, so notice, keep your body nice and light. And then finish your rounds. Very nice. Now imagine you are pushing the right side of your body to the right side of the barrel. And then inhale, through the front, roll to the left side. Inhale again, through the front, roll to the right side. So like we are doing half circles through the front side of the barrel. Really pushing the chest forward. Keeping the hips and the head in the center of the barrel. So the hips and the head do not move, but only the spine moves. I can see some hips moving. So keep the hips stable and just move to the front, through the front line of the barrel. Now go to the back, all the way. Do this in a spine flexed position. Really keep the head and the hips in the same spot. And then move through the back to the side, through the back to the side. A few more times. And keep your breath relaxed, keep your body relaxed. Very nice. Now bring your spine to a straight position. Take a moment to close your eyes and feel the center or the middle of your spine. Like almost start to feel the spinal cord. And expand your awareness 1 inch. Maybe from the spinal cord, you can feel the entire bones of the spine. Now from there, improve your awareness 1 more inch. Now you are expanding a little bit more from the spine up. Now maybe 1 more inch. Keep expanding from the spinal cord through the bones of the spine and to the connective tissues and the muscles, and expand your awareness all the way out to the skin around your core. And notice what is in between. As you do this, maybe relax the chest, soften the shoulders, relax the neck, and keep your spine neutrally upright. Very nice. Slowly open your eyes back out. Then set your intention to learn a little bit more about yourself so you can be your own medicine day in and day out. Because guess who is the one who always shows up for you? You. So rather than having somebody on call 24/7, you can be your own best servant, which will enable you to serve other people in the best way possible as well. But now we are diving into the core. So we have so many muscles. Again, I am going to introduce you some of them. And these are the notorious abdominal wall, which everybody thinks what abdominal wall is. But this is not the functional part. So we are going to go beyond that. And the number of abs are genetical. So it doesn't matter how many thousand sit-ups you do. If you have just 1 line here, you're going to end up with 4 packs. And it doesn't matter how much you do not work out. If you have 1 extra line here, you're going to end up with 10 packs. So we are not going to be too worried about it. But at the same time, we have the obliques, and the obliques are actually so in line with your serratus. They are connecting to your serratus in the back. Beyond this line, we'll look at the main abdominal muscles. And at the same time, the core will include the glutes, the quadriceps, or these are highlighted as the IT. And today I will also keep in mind as to how to use the lats, these muscles, and what is underneath the lats is also the serratus anterior. How are you guys? How is the images so far in terms of reflecting back on it? Can you notice this thing within your body? It doesn't matter what is the name of it. Trapezius, done. Are you enlightened? No. But do you feel this within your body? So this is the upper part of it, which makes up for the tightness in the front of the body. This is the middle part of it, which when it's not active, it creates more tension on the upper part, and this is the lower part. But how does this move? You know how your biceps moves you, it lifts your hand up. But how does this trapezius move you? Or how does the core move you? Or as you get to know it, how does the hips move you? These are the important parts that's actually going to enable you to take the next step, enabling yourself with a very comfortable and easeful life and easeful body. So, okay, this is the part of the 10 pack. And the muscles that I'm going to be mainly talking about, one of them is the QL muscles, the quadriceps lumborum. And these are actually, as a reminder from the first structural integrity series, these are the psoas. So we'll dive deeper into the functions and how these are working in correlation with the abs. And let's look at the main muscle of the core, which is the transverse abdominals. And this is how it looks. This everybody has. 6-pack, everybody has that too, but maybe it's not visible, but this definitely. And can you see, it's all the way from the back of the body it starts. coming down all the way. And this part of it, it's almost like a tendon texture. So it doesn't quite feel like a muscle, or it doesn't have the motor control that you would expect your muscles to have. And then here we have the abs, or like the front of it. And one thing you have to understand with this is muscles, how you move is muscles are a whole bunch of little strings, the fibers, and then they get short or long. So the direction that they get short, they pull or flex, and the direction they get long, they extend or reach. So here you can see it's moving from the core to the right, from the core to the left, because these are the long tissues. But at the same time, it has some tissues that are aligning and coming down. So these, when they get short, the core will go down. And then these guys are climbing up. So when they get short, it will go up. So what it is that it has almost a 6-dimensional motion. And let's try this now. Come to a relatively straight position with your spine. And then as the first common term goes, suck your stomach in, which means press this muscle towards your lower back, pressing it in. And then puff the belly, push the stomach out, which makes this to come more forward, pushing it forward. And then if it helps, you can put your both hands on the sides of the abs, on the side of the belly button. Now you can start to imagine. Push your entire belly button towards the right plane. It's going to be subtle, but it will happen. Maybe a tenth of an inch in the beginning. And then push your abs towards the left. That's possible. Push your abs towards the ribs. It's possible as well. And then push your abs or the belly button or that center down towards the pubic bone. That's also possible. So it has, with the other muscles, at least 6 or about 6 ways of direction that it can move, which is amazing for it. And which will connect to these two, the upper traps and in the long muscles. So these muscles are, unlike the biceps or like the little bunch muscles, they have a different range of motion, and it's only up to you to start to feel them and explore how they actually initiate motion within your body. So the ones on the back, and then you see they are all the way from your hips to your neck. And if they are not fibrally connected, they are tendonally connected. And if they are not connected through the tendons, then they are connected through the fascia. So everything is connected. That's why this is the piece that connects the upper part of the body with the lower part of the body. So this is the main back muscles, and this one is also having all the support. And then you can see it's actually coming in a spiral way. Once you stop and then start to feel your muscles, you can even feel the shapes and the rounds of it. And also at the same time, this relates so much with the yoga world of how the energy moves through the chakras. And then they always say a spiral shape. So if your muscles are spiral, then even the nerves and at the same time, the blood vessels around it is spiral. So every little piece of information when you close your eyes and feel those muscles are going to come to you in a spiral way. So is it the energy center? Is it the shape of the muscle? Is it the nerve? Who knows? But how you know is making your own reality. Anyways, by the way, these are the muscles that are supporting the back. And see how the QLs, see this marvel of the body. Everything from the outside is going towards the inside. Everything that is in the inside going towards the outside. Things are starting from the right, ending towards the left. See, this is going from the right to the left. This is starting from the left, going towards the right. So there is always a pattern within the body that is supported from the sides and in a Z or zigzag shape through the sides of the body or the front of the back of the body, which I will talk more later. But then keeping more and adding more to the serratus from the last week, you have to feel and understand and actually functionally move how this little mass of muscle helps you within your posture. And at the same time, not diving too deep to the shoulder today, but looking at the trapezius too, because the lats, trapezius, and at the same time the serratus, these are the muscles that is going to help you if you have a hunched back. These are the muscles that's going to push your mid back and chest forward. But on the flip side, if you are activating this, you also have to relax the front. So you have to relax the chest, and you have to relax the abdominal wall, and you have to relax your pec minor. Moving along, moving along. So this is the deep core, but what is in the, this is the outer core, but in the deeper part of the core is, do you see how you have a cushion here, or like how you have a support mechanism? So imagine this, and it's not going to be too hard. Somebody who is not using their diaphragm breathing, somebody who is not activating their abs, somebody who has no awareness or control over their pelvic floor. Which part of their body is working at this moment? It's the lower back. And then that's why there is over, I don't want to make up a number, but it's millions of people taking sick leave because of their lower back. This is the number one leading thing in the United States, as well as the mental health. There are people taking sick leaves. And this is just structurally so simple. It makes perfect sense for your lower back to be thrown out, because the other four of the diagram you are not using. The diaphragm is here, the abs are here, and the pelvic floor is here. So this is the superficial, or this is the deep part of the core that is actually either supporting you or hindering you within your daily life. And you have to start to become aware of it. But moving along a little bit deeper, we also have the diaphragm that I just mentioned. And the most important thing with the diaphragm you have to understand is diaphragm's relationship with your nervous system. But today it's a little bit more from the point of structure and alignment, so I will not go too deep into it, but you have to understand this. Your nervous system is running the game. It's running your perception, it's running it's running the resources that you have. So if you keep a nice harness on your nervous system regulation, then everything else will be easier. And in order to do that, you have to start to use your diaphragm. And as of the diaphragm, let me actually show you one thing. That is how reverse breathing works. So what it's supposed to be doing is this. The diaphragm works, it's active. And when you inhale, your diaphragm contracts and it starts to get short. So what does contraction mean to you? It's work. You need to lift something off the floor. You have to contract the muscles. You have to carry something. You have to keep muscles contracted. So you have to inhale. Inhale is the part of the work. It's part of the activation. And then I don't have to guess, but most of you, when you are breathing right now, your inhales are longer than your exhales. Your exhales are, inhale, a little bit. Maybe you feel it at the nose, maybe it's just going by. But when you start to really use your diaphragm and extend your exhales, what you are subconsciously doing to your body, or subliminally doing to your body, is that you are enabling your body to stay and to sustain the relaxation mode. So every time you exhale, your body naturally relaxes. I don't want to go too deep into it, but remember, the vagus nerve touches the heart rate goes down, muscles relax, they give up, blood is being pushed, all that stuff. So just keep one thing in your mind, just exhale longer and initiate the natural process of relaxation within the functions and within the system of your body. But that being said, this is the diaphragm, and most people breathe like this. And I don't think any of us today is a reverse breather, but this is very helpful and I do have to show it. So let's look at it like this. So this is how normal breathing should look like. So inhale, the belly, chest expands. When you exhale, your abs contract, and as the abs contract, it gives support to your diaphragm to relax and be pulled and stretched. So inhale, really there is some activation with the core too, because remember it can go on all 6 directions. I'm lightly pushing it forward, and then down at the bottom, the diaphragm is being pulled down, so the dome lowers, and then I exhale. When you exhale, everything relaxes. This is normal. And then this is reverse breathing. So what happens is this. So when I inhale, rather than the belly widening and the bottom of the ribs widening, when I inhale, I do this, the gorilla breathing. That's what they taught people. Stomach in, chest forward. be like that dog in the cartoon that I can't remember, but like big shoulders and little legs. So that's what happens when people keep telling you this, and then you end up being like this. But the problem is you are not using your diaphragm. So when you push the abs in, what it happens is the bottom of your rib cage expands and the top of your rib cage opens, and then you activate more of your fight and flight system. So let's not do that. And if you are doing it, there is ways to reverse it. But what you have to do is to make sure your belly, your abs are activated when you are inhaling, and it's creating more room to the bottom of the ribs to open, to the bottom of the abs to open. That is the diaphragm. We can put it right there. And remembering, do you guys remember how to stand and how to do? So rather than looking at all of this, and this is the back, this is the front, let's look at it this way. And I'm going to share a little piece of drawing with you, if you can bear with me for 1 second. So you have to remember how you stand, right? This is the body. And just like I said, on the front of the body, between the right and left, there is this zigzagging pattern. There is also this, the front and the back of the body. And at the same time, the core muscles of the deep and the core muscles of the superficial area that are balancing each other out. But as we live in a really repetitive pattern, this balanced motion of standing up is actually being overridden. So the big mass of the muscles that is actually supposed to keep your core or keep your body in a straight up position. Let's start with the quadriceps. You have to have really strong quadriceps that are holding you in place. And then as you have the quadriceps on the back of the body, you have to have your glutes working. So the glutes are nice and strong. So do you see the mechanism here? This is being pushed here, and this is being pushed here. So your body is finding the support on both sides. But this is of course not enough. On top of that, you have the core here, the abdominal, the transverse abdominal, that is giving another support towards the midline. So everything is coming towards the midline. And on the back of the muscle, what you have is the serratus that is pushing the thoracic back forward. And then underneath the neck, you also have the neck flexors and all that stuff. So there is a pattern that your body is being balanced in a zigzagging motion. But at the same time, you also have to have the opposite force on the other side to keep the inertia and then keep your body standing with the least effort. And what you have in the absence of these supporters is overactivation with this. So this actually, let me go like with that. So this is your Sartorius. When the quadriceps are not fully active, that's coming from the outside of the hip through the front of the thigh to the inside of the knee. And when the hips are not really being pushed or the abs are not 100% active holding your core, then you will have your psoas here holding your core, because something, and let me also draw the spine here. So let's say this is the spine, and something has to be held. And going back to the support, when the abs are not pushing the spine back, or at the bottom here, right here, when the glutes are not doing the job, then your lower back has to take charge, the QL and the lower back, and taking all the load, because you have to have some kind of a support to keep the body upright. And at the same time, when the serratus or the subscapular muscles or the mid-back muscles are not being too much supportive of the back, then your chest muscles are getting really tight. And then they get tight and they get short and the front of the body collapses. So it is very key to understand how you are finding the center. Which muscles are active, which muscles are not so active, and then understand to find the balance. And with this, I understand there is a lot of awareness stuff going on, because you have to do two works at once, and these two works are opposite, and it's kind of like inhale and exhale. So inhale activation, exhale relaxation, but it's very contradictory. But at the same time, you have to relax your psoas, but make sure you are using your glutes. Okay. You have to engage your core and relax your lower back. Easier. So making sure that separation of work is very important. Because if I'm doing something, if I'm lifting my legs, lifting the legs all the time, or doing one practice, even the hot yoga practice, what it happens is repetition over and over and over again without proper consideration for the motion is going to make you injured. So what you want to do is, repetition is fine. You can walk your entire life. And if you are walking with the correct technique, you can walk way longer than other people. So if you want to do one certain type of yoga, you can do it, no problem. Even the Ashtangi yogis too, they end up with broken shoulders and replaced hips. But what it happens is that repeat. It's nothing wrong with the yoga or the poses they do, but just enforcing the same compensation pattern that they are already living their life with. So of course you are going to take more wear and tear, and eventually your body will give out the toll to somewhere else at some point. So just become more aware in terms of how you initiate the pose, how you initiate the motion, and is the weight or the load or the work evenly distributed all around the parts of the body. Going back to our slides. It's time to practice, but I also was thinking about this. There is almost too many different pieces of work. And even throughout these 9 weeks of these lectures, I gave you in the beginning and at the end, so I at least gave you 8 to 16 different types of practices, discounting the advices or like the little pieces of practices that I offered during the time of the lecture. So is 18 practice not enough to put your body into a peaceful or a easeful situation? I don't know. Do you need 15? Do you need 30? But the problem is our options at some point in life turn into distractions. I'm like, I can do the core engagement. Okay. Yeah, but I can do this. Okay. Should I do this or should I do that? You just wasted your time to practice, deciding what to practice. This is how we spend our entire life. I don't know what to eat. Should I eat this? Should I eat that? Should I eat this? Time to eat is gone. I don't know which job to choose. I have 10 offers. That's amazing. This, that, they all find another. So let's use our options as a blessing, but not to waste more of the time. And the more I talk about this, the more I am moving away from my own point, but I'll bring the point back to this. Remember this from the earlier weeks? We have this beautiful, everything moved. We had this beautiful diagram that is showing how the core, the diaphragm works. Let's do this for 2 minutes. Start with a breathing exercise and then finish with a breathing exercise. And the more you breathe, because I actually want to leave something for you at the end of this series, that's something that has to stick with you. And then this cannot be nothing but your awareness of breath helping you with the body. Because if nothing else, I talked about over 30 muscles. And the body, I don't know how many, maybe 300 muscles. I really don't know. Too many muscles to know, I know that part. And when I am walking, I cannot force my brain to think about all the muscles to engage and disengage and relax. But if you find the rhythm of walking, the rhythm of running, the rhythm of your life, that is going to be way easier. And the pathway, the doorway to the finding the rhythm is actually finding the mechanisms and the function of your breath. So let's start to breathe with this. That is the awareness of the diaphragm. And now what we are going to do is we are going to really expand or extend the exhales, because the more you start to become aware of the diaphragm, the easier it will be for you to become aware of your abdominal wall. So I can show this a few times for you, and there is nothing too complicated about it. And this actually is one of the main relaxation techniques that I use, because most of the time, the more you know, it doesn't necessarily mean the more you are going to do, because what works for you is also what is working for me. When I am stressed, my IQ level is also dropping for another 25 points. So I can't remember what to do. But I found an anchor. There's one thing that works for me, and it has been this. And what I do is this. When I talk, I exhale. And when I exhale, you can see my voice running out. I exhale a bit more, maybe a bit more. When everything is done, I just allow the body to breathe. It instantaneously activates your diaphragm because it thinks you are dying. This is beautiful. So when you do not know what your brain is doing to you, when I don't know that my brain is constantly telling me that I am dying, and I don't know it, then I'm freaking out. I am trying to find the little itsy bitsy pieces of everything. But when I'm making my brain think itself that it is dying, then it knows what to do by instinct. It's like if you what is that thing? Like if you drop a ball on earth, it's gonna fall because there's gravity. So it's the same thing. If you leave your brain without oxygen intentionally, it will immediately start your diaphragm into bringing into the game, because you are aware, you know, you are in charge. You are just using your brain as a tool like it's used to be. So I will do this 3 times, and then after the 3, you can start to join me, but the exhale lengths might be very different, but I will keep it around 6 to 8 counts. It's gone, waiting for it. I'm just waiting for the breath to restart itself. Full diaphragm. I'm even squeezing my hips and the pelvic floor, and I wait. Maybe join with me another 4 breaths, and you can try to push everything out. Just waiting the exhale to turn into an inhale at the end of the breath. Keep breathing like this. And what it happens is at the end of the exhale, the diaphragm unlocks and starts a little motion. Just catch that motion and breathe with it and expand your inhales a little bit more. So at the end, it unlocks here. And like a wave, I just keep riding with it. I just keep going down with the sensations or with the diaphragm or with the air, everything. Just keep breathing and imagining the motion. I'll do 3 more with you. Slowly become a little bit more aware of the end of your breath and notice how the diaphragm kickstarts or restarts the breath process within itself. And keep this in your mind as we are moving along for the next chapter. So what we have is this. Looking ahead, this unfortunately is the end of our sessions. And I have been, I said last week that I was thinking about putting up a self-image session, but just within 1 hour and within generalizations, it is really all nothing but extra load of information. And what we have done within these 9 weeks has been very good within my perspective, because not only getting the information but also having some practices that you can apply for. But at the same time, after some time going through this information and processing it, then things start to sharpen a little bit more, get a little bit more clear, but at the same time a little bit more vague. But like, the more you find a microscope, you find the cell and the atom and the particle of the atom and the subparticle atom. The deeper you go, there is the deeper information. So for those of you who are ready, and only for the sessions that has been, for the sessions of these 9 weeks, I actually came up with a new offering for you. And this is going to be this. So normally there is worth over $1,500 of value here. And what we do is, first we do a why session. So it is very good for you to get rid of a pain or an injury or a situation, stressful situation in life. But the why is actually what is getting you up off the bed and getting you running into the world. What is your reason? What is the vision and the mission of your life? And if you do not know it, that's also a great session to find out your own why. And then, as we are going to be together in this session for another 8 weeks, we will go through, not in a very detailed, but in a very personally detailed structural integrity session, in which I will do the muscle tests and understand what your body basically needs, which will also create the framework for the poses or the positions of meditation that you are going to do later in the weeks. Because some people need to lie flat on their back, some people need to put the leg up or put a cushion in certain parts of the body. So it will really determine how you will live more ease with doing minor adaptations in your life, and at the same time how else to continue with the later part of the journey. And after that, we will start a cultivating witness consciousness, which is going to work precisely as how you understand meditation. Because over these 8 weeks, 9 weeks, I offered a lot of different amounts of meditations, but there is one that's going to work for you, and there is one that's not going to work for you, and there is one that you might like. So there is so many different types, which will create you the capacity to understand your own way of being able to carry or bear a witness to your own self. And after that, we will learn from the sensations, but rather than talking about general emotions and feels, it's going to be what is mattering to you the most, and also how to digest life experiences, because who we are today is the sum of the experiences and the reactions or the responses to those experiences which we had that has created who we are as of this moment. So diving those into deep, taking the gems of teaching, and within the next week, letting go of the burden of those same life experiences and the same things that you might be carrying with, but we are letting go in peace. So at this light stage, we are going to find out what is ahead of us. So that was the past, we came to the present, and then now we are looking ahead. It's like keeping your eyes up on the vision by keeping your feet down on the ground strong. So expanding the comfort zone, finding that next mission to tackle, how to strategize. And we will be at this point stepping into the clarity session. It's like really what I'm trying to do, and for so far, with whom this program has been successful with, is really the brave. I can advise you to be brave, but you will know when to dive into the closet of your life and then take out whatever you need to. I did gave this example before, but the mindfulness work is like diving deep to the back door or to the basement of your life. And then everybody is telling you that, hey, in the basement there is gold. Hey, in the basement there is gold. And you need gold. Let's just assume for the sake of the little story. But then you're like, one day you tell yourself, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go get the gem and then change my life. You open the door to your basement, and immediately you turn on the light, and then you start to dig in. But wow, it's dust, it's spider webs, it's smell, maybe some skeletons. I don't know. But what happened was that you just did too much. This is not like, I'm going to pull an all-nighter and finish this off. This is day in, day out journey. So if you need to go to the basement, what you need to do is first go in there, turn on the light, and wait at the door. Make a plan. Start to swipe from the first, and then maybe take off the dust off the light bulb. So next time you go in, you are not going to dirty your head. It's work day in and day out. The next day you go in, you do the dusting, you do the moving, you do this, you move everything out, and then you get to the chest. You open the chest, yada, yada, yada. Life is unfortunately not easy. But at the same time, fortunately, it's not easy. Because what you want it to be easy, you will get bored of it eventually. So what actually keeps driving your force within you is the fact that life is unknown, life is unpredictable, and life is not easy. Because the moments that you are actually excelling at being alive is when you are facing these situations. So we will step into the clarity, understand the yin and the yang side of you, and then move with coherence, not with judgments, not with resentment, not with burden, but move with integrity. And then the final week for those sessions will be the purposeful and the blissful way of living. This is just going to be something that is going to be for you, just like stepping out of the house, keys, mask, phone, mindfulness of your own thing. It's just going to be one more thing within your life. And on top of this, there's going to be a free 30-minute personal life navigation consultation session, which I do with my clients before, and I also charge for it. So this is going to be free if you just have listened to the series of video and then send me an email. And at the last minute, we will do after this a personal future roadmap for finishing of the sessions as a follow-up, and then this will be available for you at the end of the program. And I am going to start questions and answers sessions, maybe at least once a month, and then we can do this in our online community at You as the Medicine Facebook group, and you will have free access to that. So if you want this, all of this is over 1,500 worth of value. I will only give it to you for $6.99. Email me and then let me know that you have gone through the You as the Medicine series, because this, first of all, is something that you have to go through so we can step into the actual, the personal, the little detail work that you are dying to do and take the next step within your life. Thank you so much, everybody. As of finalizing today, just practice the awareness of how you carry yourself. Because we just walk. How? Notice the mechanisms of it. When I was a kid, I used to watch the heavy work machines because it's so easy, but I understand we are nothing but the same mechanism. The hydraulics, pressure of air and a pressurable fluid. Air, you got the diaphragm and the pressure of your breath and the lungs. And fluid, hydraulic fluid, your blood. So when you can't lift something, what do? You grunt, you exhale. What happens is you take a big inhale and then push the oxygen through the veins so you can support the blood. So we are a hydraulic machine, just the best kind yet, we don't know. But we are also a battery. We are not necessarily just a machine, but we are like a machine. So how is my core supporting me right now? I just noticed my core was not supporting me right then whatsoever. So I actually changed my stance, but notice how your core is being supported. Notice the front of the rib cage. Don't collapse on your sternum so much, baby. Open up the chest, relax the shoulders, relax the neck, and start to feel comfortable within your skin. So where is my body weight, or like what is underactive or overactive? These are the little things that you might want to become a little bit more aware of to improve your own ease within the body. And you don't even know, it might just stir up some peace within your mind. Thank you so much, everybody. Let me know how this all go. And I can't wait to hear from you